today is going to be so much fun. You're going to learn all about artificial intelligence from our dear friends over at Anytime AI. And we encourage you guys to ask your questions. Please put those in the Q&A box and Mikayla will keep an eye on them. And then later you're going to meet our amazing partners over at HMR, OnPoint Legal Nurse Consulting, Fox AE, and then also our friends from Strategic Relationships is back with us this month. And I cannot wait for you to hear from them as well. So let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot that we're going to be covering today. I know that a lot of you who've been watching our webinars since 2020 has seen my dear friend Mikayla. She's an incredible attorney out of the Romano Law Group down in West Palm Beach. And not only does she moderate a lot for us, but she also speaks as well. If you guys get a chance to go to our website, connectionology.com, you can sign up for the webinar that we're doing on Thursday, where Mikayla will be joining John Romano and several elevator experts, and Eric Romano, Cody Roberts from Fox AE, because they're going to be doing part 2 of the elevator webinar series that I've been working on. So that is going to be a very good webinar to watch. So let's get back to Mikayla real quick because I do want you guys to know a little bit about her. She focuses a lot of her practice on representing plaintiffs within a wide variety of personal injury and catastrophic injury cases. And that includes auto negligence, wrongful death, product liability, and medical malpractice. But before joining the firm, she gained a lot of great experience working on the other side with the defense. And that gave her a lot of experience with what she's doing now, working for the plaintiff side. So having been a plaintiff herself, she also brings a very unique passion to her work, and she was very hard for all of her clients. She's a double null, and she graduated from the Florida State University with a bachelor's in criminology prior to obtaining her Juris Doctorate degree from the Florida State University College of Law in Tallahassee, Florida. And then during law school, she held a ton of leadership roles, one of them with the Black Law Students Association, as well as performing in her role as a sub-cider and that was actually for the Journal of Land Use and Environmental Law as well. But that was all while focusing a lot of her energy in competing on the school's prestigious trial team. And then one thing that's neat is outside of the legal practice, she serves as a member of several bar associations, includes the one that is in Palm Beach County. And in her free time, she enjoys powerlifting, playing video games, as well as tackling extremes with her family. And one thing that I think that I love the most is she really enjoys technology. She uses a lot of that in her cases. She finds it very important as well. So that's why I thought she'd be the perfect fit for this webinar today with our friends from Anytime AI. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mikayla, and I hope you guys have a wonderful webinar.
Thank you so much, Ginger. As Ginger said, guys, I love technology. AI in particular is of special interest to me. We use it. We've been using AI, I would say, more often and for a longer period of time than people realize, but I think it's just recently become in the public eye. So I'm really excited to learn more about it today with you all. And the people who will actually be teaching us are excellent people to learn from. So I will first start by introducing our first speaker, Dr. Teddy Wu. He is a renowned AI engineer and entrepreneur, serving as CEO and co-founder of Anytime AI, the premier AI legal assistant for plaintiffs' lawyers. With a PhD in computer science from the College of William and Mary, he has held leadership roles at Pinterest, JD.com, and IBM, specializing in AI, machine learning, and natural language processing. Dr. Wu has authored over 100 academic papers, published a widely read book on graph neural networks, and holds 65 patents, which is crazy. His work has garnered multiple awards and extensive media coverage. So that is Dr. Wu, and alongside him is Henry Hu. Henry is a business executive with over 25 years of experience at companies like IBM, 1010 Data, Kearney, and Yummit. He has held leadership roles including CFO for IBM Systems' cloud and data analytics business, VP of strategy at 1010 Data, and a volunteer CFO for Yummit. Henry holds a master's from Columbia a master's in engineering from Stanford, and a bachelor's from Shanghai Jiao Tong. He specializes in driving responsible AI growth and innovation. And I will get into that a little bit more in just a second. But first, Dr. Wu, Henry, do you guys want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for making us a great introduction.
Hello, everyone. Great to meet everyone. Thank you for joining.
Wonderful. And before I pass it back over to them, if you guys could just pull up that PowerPoint, I'd like to talk a little bit about their first slide today. Perfect. All right. Guys, can see we have a lot of exciting things to cover today. But I'm going to start by talking about the ABA model rules of professional conduct, specifically comment 8 to the model rule 1.1. And I just wanted to touch on this briefly. Being an attorney, I'm sure there are many fellow attorneys watching this as well. We have all at this point, I think, had to integrate more technology and AI into our practices day to day to some extent, some more than others. And I think it's really important to, in doing so, maintain reliance upon and consistency with the ABA model rules, of course. In particular, Model Rule 1.1 emphasizes that a lawyer just must maintain and provide competent representation to a client. But what does that mean? I mean, we all know what competency means alone. What does competency necessarily mean with AI? It's important to, again, listen to the topic today to kind of learn more about AI. And something that I've seen personally trouble the more seasoned attorneys is when we collectively decide to try to ignore AI like it doesn't exist. AI is infiltrating the world, and I think the most responsible thing we can do as attorneys is to learn about it, educate ourselves on it, and again, ensure we are maintaining compliance with the bar rules. So it might seem straightforward, but technology, again, has reshaped nearly every single aspect of our profession. We see it in courtrooms. We have virtual hearings, positions, mediations, and even trials sometimes now, and even down to small things like data security, legal research. And this would be a good time to bring up the example that I'm sure we're all intimately familiar with back in 2020, 2021 time, when the attorney who was on a hearing in front of a ton of lawyers, in front of a judge, was somehow able to put on the cat filter that I think went viral. So I'm sure everybody at this point has probably seen it. Perhaps if that attorney may have taken a little bit more time to learn about certain aspects of technology, that would have been able to be removed quickly, right? Ideally, you don't want to have it on at all, but if it just so happens, if technology fails us, it's important that we are educated and prepared to retroact that. Again, important to really comprehend and think about whether we understand technology and how it actually underpins our practice, especially when it comes to cybersecurity. That's a whole different topic, of course, but in this newer age of technology, things are less secure than ever. And it's really important, especially with all of the sensitive information we maintain on a daily basis for our clients, that we are, again, versed in knowing exactly how to keep their information safe. Another last example I'll just give is ChatGPT is, I think, a piece of AI we're all pretty familiar with at this point, whether you've used it or not, you've heard of it. Check your sources. AI in general is artificial, right? It's up to us as attorneys to double check our facts, double check our sources, and make sure that anything we are submitting to a court or really doing on behalf of our client whatsoever is fact checked. If you have not heard, there was also an attorney who submitted a motion using ChatGPT. ChatGPT decided to cite a bunch of cases that did not exist, and that did not go well for that attorney. So just as another example of why it's really important to know our technology, know how to use it, and again, going back to the ABA rules, know how to maintain compliance with that. So with that, I will go ahead and pass it to our wonderful speakers today, Dr. Wu and Henry.
Thank you so much. So thank you for the great introduction. So this is today's talk outline. We have three different parts to cover. The first part to talk about what is AI, especially what is generative AI, and how that evolved over the year. So then we will talk about like how can we use generative AI for benefit when we're doing the legal work, and also what's the potential risk and what's the technology that can be used to overcome the risks. And finally, we'll talk about so what's a legal professional attitude towards your AI, and what's your right strategy for adoption. Okay, let's start from the first part. the introduction for generative AI. So as an AI scientist for more than 10 years, I have been very fortunate to work in this area. However, this area is not new at all. So back to the 1950s, 60s, scientists are already starting to study the subject called AI. And essentially, this is the research area that to study the theory and method, try to build a machine that can think and act like humans. AI actually it's a big umbrella. It's actually cover, for example, machine learning, natural language processing, computer visions, speech recognition, and the reasoning and robotics, and so on and so forth. Among them, machine learning is a core. That essentially just like a human brain, right? It's a teacher computer method and algorithm to learn from the data, and then without any human programming, so that they can recognize the pattern and generate the stuff, so on and so forth. So today we're talking about generative AI, and the other name for that we call large language model. That essentially is a new type of technology aligned with we call the deep learning. That is a subject of the one subject of the research area for machine learning. And so beginning from the 2012, that is essentially how the deep learning started. And then generative AI is one type of the technology in the deep learning, which is to pre-train a large model upon the many different data, for example, text, sound, video, code, so on and so forth. And then after that, we are able to use this model to generate a new text, sound, video, and code. So one of the most classic example we call ChatGPT, as Mikayla already mentioned, and also GPT-4, right, is a more recent model. So this is a brief introduction about AI. However, throughout the human history in the last 10,000 years, we have 24 general purpose technologies, ranging from the steam engine to electricity, from the computer to internet. So AI essentially right now is already in the straight-hold of the serve as a new general purpose technology, which have been seen will be fundamentally revolutionize the human society and our everyday life. So ChatGPT, as we know, right, is released in the November 2022, and this is probably one of the most successful tech product launch. In 5 days, you have been reached 1 million users there. Why? Because this is the first time people see with a large language interface, and this accessibility quickly can understand human question and give the answer inspiration to the human's questions is amazing. So, however, AI is not stopping there. It's actually evolving every day, right? So that's why we have seen that all these tech companies who have been put a lot of investment in AI right now have been increased significantly, right? So in the past, like for example, right after the ChatGPT the release on the November 2022, in 5 months, so OpenAI immediately released the other one called GPT-4, that is in March 2023. And I can see here, right, this is just a partial test that GPT performance against these professional exams. The last and the uniform bar exam is most relevant to the legal professionals. I can see, right, so at the beginning, GPT-3 only are able to get 40% score for that test, but later they're going to nearly 90% for the GPT-4. Same thing for the UBE, that at the beginning is only 10% and later become 90%. So you can see how AI capacity evolving quickly as we build more larger and larger model and put more effort in terms of innovation of the new AI algorithm and method. And more recently, right, just this year, September 2024, last month, OpenAI right now just released a new model called OpenAI 01. This is actually even bigger model compared to GPT-4. This essentially the purpose of this model is to let the model spend more time in terms of thinking, just like human, okay, before they answer the questions, so that they are able to make it more efficient to more complex reasoning tasks, even for scientific discovery and also more complicated programming. So this is just a more straightforward example, right? So for example, what GPT-4 can do today? Okay, this is probably the technology most of the legal tech company are leveraged today. For example, the GPT-4 are able to pass these multi-state bar exams. If we compare GPT 3.5, that is ChatGPT, to GPT-4, and also to student, average law school student, you can see, right, the GPT-4 is almost competitive to the student average. And if we look deeply into the average score and compare with the law school students, we surprisingly found that GPT-4 actually is already beat the average law school students in terms of these exams. So this is a surprise. However, this is not. This is just a beginning. So last week, right, we just heard about the Nobel Prize that is go to the Nobel Physics. It's go to AI research. It's a reward to the giant bot, that's the AI pioneer in this domain. So the other one is the Nobel Prize in chemistry that go to the developer of the AlphaFold, that is from DeepMind. So as you can see, right, the whole society right now recognize how important the AI technology. And right now is just a beginning of this new AI era. And we will see more and more product and technology align this sign to fundamentally change human society in the next 10 years. Okay, now let's take a look, right? So, if AI is such a powerful thing, so what can we use that for the benefit of our legal practice? But before that, I'd love to do a very quick poll here. Okay, so I don't know how many audience right now already use any AI tool, but I would love to know, right? For example, for your practice, how can you think can leverage your AI for your law firm practice? We have like legal document review analysis. We have this summarization of long document. We have this legal research. We have this draft for legal memo, motions, contract analysis, even improve and polish writing and also translation legal document. So please give your answer for that. So we can wait for 1 minute for you guys to type the task that you think is very useful to you. Since I cannot see the screen, so maybe Henry can help me to take a look, and then so what's the most common answer our audience have been provided?
I'm not sure the polling works, but the typing answer, some people said all, and some people wrote in legal review and analysis draft. And yeah, so far 3 or 4 people said all, and 1 person said writing.
Okay, amazing. Okay, seems as also this is all the key tasks that this group people want to have. Okay, now let's move forward. Okay, so what's the plenty law firm you want to be? This is a very good analogy here. Let's say we have 2 firms, firm A and firm B, and this is how much time that you will have to take a legal task, and then try to do that before the court. Okay, firm A spend 6 weeks, and then need like attorney, paralegal, probably total 4 people working on that, and working every day 10 hours on that, over work time, and also total labor time maybe spent, it will be 1,200 hours. However, the firm B with the same task, they only need to spend 3 weeks, and they only need to allocate like 2 attorney and paralegal together working on that 8 hours a day, and the total hours spent will be 240 hours. As you can see, firm B can do the task much faster with much smaller staff, and the staff don't have to work in long hours, and it's doing things much faster. And think about like if we compare firm A and firm B, how many hours the firm B can save that. If we reapply the time to do the new cases, this is approximately the difference between 2 firms' efficiency. One are only able to handle 50 cases, however, the other one can handle 200 cases, which definitely means that you will have a high profit for that. However, what's the secret of that? The secret sauce is that firm B hire AI as a new counsel. and this AI will automate the core workflow actions. And this AI are able to handle many tedious tasks and time-consuming tasks that is standard repetitive, and no one want to do that, but they have to do that. Okay, so this is the best task that AI can handle for the humans. So we here talking about end-time AI as an example platform. We do believe that we have a more and more AI platform like us that can provide some similar function. But today I just trigger end-time AI as an example platform to talk about what the AI legal assistant can do for the plaintiff lawyers. So for example, in the end-time AI, we are able to doing this document review and summarization. To summarize 100 pages of depositions in minutes. Okay, and then you have thousands of the document. You want to do like a deposition inconsistent comparison, and you can always easily find information for it. If you want to find the emails, working emails, and this important information from the client's email thread, and also all the different documents, you can easily identify the key facts and evidence from the documents. At the meantime, so we know everyone using Westlaw and LexLex to do the legal research and database. But the traditional way is to provide the keyword and to search that, and then to read the 100 cases and then apply that, and then to think about to write a legal memo from there. So it typically takes like 10 hours, 20 hours to do that. Now, the new AI thread will help you to, for example, analyze to allow you to provide the case facts and also the high-level legal matter you want to study. And the AI are able to understand your case facts and questions and search millions of the cases regulations, do the legal reasoning, and draft a legal memo in just a few minutes. Think about how many time can save there to do this initial research. And in this personal injury AI agent, this is actually one of the biggest things that so we believe that this is what the future looks like. We have to customize the large language model or generative AI into each legal practice so that we can deliver this end-to-end workflow to automate that. For example, in this current module, we are able to summarize 100 pages of medical record, even 1,000 pages, and then extract all the key information from there in just a few minutes. And we are able to extract all information from medical record, medical bills, police report, and client form, and so on and so forth. And then weave the information together into a one demand draft in just a few minutes. And same thing for the current response. So if you have like tens of documents, 100 documents, even 1,000 documents, you have to look into and find the response for each of the in the recorded form. That's so time consuming. So today the AI is able to read all the questions together and then to generate response for each question together in few minutes. So this is how much the AI legal assistant can do for you. This is not designed to replace any lawyer paralegal. Instead, it's an assistant to empower every attorney and paralegal so that you don't have to do every work from scratch anymore. The AI will do this work from you to prepare the first draft, maybe 80%, maybe 90%, and your role becomes to review and validate the result so that you are able to significantly improve your efficiency. Okay, at the meanwhile, right, your knowledge and your experience that what information you are looking for, that is the most valuable part. You just let AI to do the information retrieval part and to generate answer back to you so that you can immediately get the information you want instead to read yourself. So this is how we see that how AI and lawyer can work together today. Of course, right, any AI platform, they have to guarantee the security and the data privacy. And also are able to overcome, for example, AI resolution problem and so on and so forth. So we will discuss this later when Henry will talk about the risk of the problem and how to address that. But this is all the AI platform should provide so that you can have a confidence to use the AI platform. So this is the most straightforward to showing, for example, what's the typical daily core workflow or tasks that you have to deal with as plaintiff lawyers, especially as a personal injury lawyers. Okay, and with the AI platform, how many time you can saving right now if you use the right platform, can write the right functionality. Okay, just take one example, right? For example, the medical record analysis, 100 pages, 1,000 pages. This is just a daunting task for any paralegal and junior associate. And now you will have an AI program who are able to auto split the different visit for you and extract the visit date and the page range for each visit. And all your role right now is not to read the medical record and extract information yourself. Instead, AI do that for you now and prepare for the first draft. And your role become to review the information that AI provided and then to correct something if something is wrong. For example, if a visit date right is wrong, just simply correct that and save that. And then immediately you can click that generate, like for example, medical knowledge. The AI will generate the result for you in just a few minutes. So this is how we see the AI can help legal professionals, right? Essentially, it's not to do all the work for you. However, it's able to do all this repetitive and standard work for you, and your role just to review and validate. And this is how much time that and efficiency the AI can help you as a co-worker so that you can do the work much more efficient compared to before. So now let's give a concrete example. Okay, what we can do here. For example, let's say auto-generate the legal memos. So what it looks like. So for example, the task here is trying to find and analyze the most relevant legal resources related to specific issues. Okay, and goal here is to generate IRAG structured legal memo. And so, for example, you are able to select the jurisdiction, right, from different states, from federal, and you can provide the high-level case facts about the case, so the AI can understand the background of the case. And this is typically very important to determine what's the relevant cases. And then you can ask questions about giving these cases. And then AI will looking for many of the cases relations and starting to understand that, and then to generate the IRAG structured legal memo in just a few minutes. And not only that, with all the case citations, so that when you click view, it will allow you to showing the most relevant clause that support this legal research. And if you want to know the details about case, then it's always show you what case details and where come from, and you even can see the case brief here. So they can easily to understand what case about. So you can see it's completely changed your original workflow that you have to do everything yourself. Think about the keyword, think about the read the cases and generate the legal memo. Now AI can do all this stuff end to end back to you in just a few minutes. And you can continue this iteration with AI and then to give them more and more information, to provide more detailed information to the case. And then eventually you will find the very relevant cases and the argument. And then you can continue to work on that. The second example is to try to find leaders in a haystack, right? So for example, you can ask AI queries across multiple documents. And this is just an example, right? So for example, this is a patent agreement. If you're doing some commercial litigation, okay. And you can ask questions, right? So for example, what license and license in each of this license agreement? And the AI was looking for all this document and to find the most relevant information and generate the answer back to you in just minutes. Not only that, but also tell you which this answer come from. So you have confidence that this answer is correct. So this is essentially gives all this we call the in-text citations. So you're able to see that and easily to click that, it will open that PDF for you, jump to corresponding position, highlight text block for you. So think about how many time can save for you if you can use a software like this, right? And meantime, you can also, this is will be the different examples. You have a lot of the medical literature and you want to study some medical issues. For example, this is essentially to test AI capacity, especially reasoning capacity. With a lot of the medical literature, with the information about this, for example, this patient record, and you can ask question like, list out all the argument this NIO is represented for lesson through the mouth should be made based on the medical record and literature. And AI literally read all this literature, understand your medical record, and then to provide the information, say, this is the right argument or not, based on this literature. And if you go inside that, it gives you more detail to talk about each of the point to discuss that why this is the case. And if we click this in-text citation, it's always jump to corresponding the document so that you can further review that and argue that. Okay, so the third example is to summarize any long document. For example, the most common one probably is like depositions. Okay, this is the deposition 100 pages. And now the AI will generate this high-level summarization in just a few minutes. And meanwhile, finally, it will aggregate all the information together and then try to list all the key facts inside these depositions. Not only that, I can see, right, each bullet point have corresponding citations. This citation essentially tell you in which page and what line information come from there, so that you can have the confidence to have a record to list, right? If this is important facts, you just put that in a corresponding page line reference so that you can use that to prepare your trial later. Now let's go to the personal injury part. Okay, for example, the medical analysis. So this is a medical record that you have been uploaded to the platform. And as we mentioned before, right, the AI will automatically split the different visits and then try to extract key information for you. What's the information extracted? Just like a regular medical knowledge, it's extract the date, the provider, the description that about the patient's visit, and also corresponding citations, where they come from. So if you click these citations, it actually will open the PDF and again to jump to the first page of these citations. So that's why I say that the AI's role essentially is doing this uplifting the heavy work and repetitive work, so that your role right now is just simply become to review and validate. And if something's wrong, just correct that and save that and work together with AI so that you don't have to do everything from scratch anymore. And so this is more details for each of the visits, what it looks like. We have visit date, we have page range, have a dog type, within them, and also all the detailed information there. At least save 5 to 15 hours, really depends on how long your medical record. Let's also talk about the demand letter, right? Once you have finished your medical analysis Poland, right, you want to write a demand letter. This is mainly for the pre-litigation. Okay, you also have other documents you want to see, right? For example, plea report, medical bills, clientele form, even insurance card, and so on and so forth. And you upload that document to the AI platform. AI is already designed to extract key information from there. So later, the AI agent will weave all the information together to generate a demand letter draft. And this is the draft that generated purely by the AI. So section 1, liability. Section 2, summary of the injury. You even have a table to list all the information for injury, ICD code, and where it comes from. And medical special damage, each of the paragraph essentially is a summary of each medical visit. And this is the table to showing the medical bills that have been shown in the medical bills previously. And this is the general damage part. We believe this is probably the most important part that lawyers should use wisdom and experience to claim as much as possible. And finally, you can give a conclusion. So put them together, right? You copy this draft, you make a little bit polish, you put your head, and also then you are able to save 10 to 20 hours, if this is a brand new case. And finally, let's talk about the discovery response. So we often have, if we enter into the litigation phase, we have been faced this, receive the demand response. In New York, called the bill of particulars, in other states, interrepository forms. And this really depends on state. Some states have 40 plus questions, some states 30 plus questions. In California, they have 80 plus questions. Amazing. So how many time have to spend to prepare this discovery response? So now with AI, you simply upload all the relevant client document here, and then you simply import the form that we already built in our platform. And or if you have some new internal form, you can simply upload to the platform. The platform will automatically extract the question for you, and then the AI will generate the response for you at the same time in a few minutes. And the most important part that the AI had to be faithfully to respect to the original information in the document. If they don't have the information, the AI should provide, say, I don't have enough context to answer questions. Just as we show in this question, right? Some questions can be answered, some questions cannot be answered, and AI has to recognize that. And this is the second question, and third question, and so on and so forth. So how many going to save to you? I think it really depends on your case. The bigger the case is, the more we can save. Okay, as you can see, right? So with AI, so you definitely can use AI to boost your revenue. It's so easy to leverage AI to improve your efficiency. 10 times efficiency may be possible, so you can quadruple your capacity to handle more cases. At the meantime, right, for each cases, as you can see, through the beginning to the end, if you fully utilize the AI for each of the tasks, so you can easily save 20, 30 hours per cases. Okay, so that your attorney and the paralegal can free up their time for the higher valued client. So the partner and associate can be put more time to interact with the client, and AI can help a paralegal and junior associate to handle this repetitive and standard work. And as meantime, right, so the junior associate and paralegal can check, verify, and polish AI work. So this is what it looks like in the future at law firm parties. And of course, right, because of AI, so definitely you can build a much more resilient team. You know, you don't have to work in long hours for working on so many cases. You can definitely finish work early and have a better work-life balance. Okay, so this is basically we finished the first part. So Henry will continue the second part. So shall we have a break here?
Yeah, this is perfect. Come back, guys. I'm going to go ahead, if you're okay, I'm going to bring two of our special partners. The first one is our friend Patrick over OnPoint Legal Nurse Consulting. He's going to come in, and Teddy, I'm not sure if you had a chance to meet him yet, but they do amazing work over at their location, and they've got these nurses all over the country. Patrick's been practicing for over 20 years now, and he also speaks on a lot of our nursing home abuse webinars with us. In fact, we have one coming up later this month. But it is an honor to have him here. I can't wait for you to meet him as well. And anyone watching who's not met Patrick yet, he's going to share some of the great things that they do over at OnPoint. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Ginger, nice to see you.
You too.
Nice to meet everyone. Fantastic presentation. And my name is Patrick, like Ginger said, and I'm one of the program directors over at OnPoint Legal Nurse Consulting and Expert Witness Placement. So what our firm does is we're a full litigation support firm that starts from merit screening, so more behind the scenes work, up until placing experts, whether they're nursing experts like myself or medical experts out in the field that need to look at a medical issue. Some of the other reports that we do over here are the world famous pain and suffering reports, which are John Romano's favorite reports for non-economic damages. Those reports are done by a nurse, and they look at more of a full picture of what happened to a client or a patient from the date of injury moving forward. So it goes more into a psychosocial interviews. We like to do face-to-face interviews if we can. We like to interview the family, really get a full picture of what happened to this patient and how it's affecting their day-to-day life. We do also have 3 certified life care planners on staff that will do put together your life care plans. And then we have a wonderful group of case management nursing all over the country that will be able to continue to follow the life care plan to make sure the case management side is taken care of. Life care plans take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we just want to make sure that those plans are actually implemented and then reporting that back to you guys to make sure that things are moving forward. Like Ginger said, I've been a nurse for 20 years. I started in the ICU in the hospital in Center City, Philadelphia, and was in cardiac care. And then I went into kind of the crazy, strange world of home health and hospice and long-term care nursing, which I've been doing for the past about 20 years. So some of the things that I do that come across my desk is I go through medical chronologies, I do medical summaries, I come up with suggestions of what types of experts we think would be best for the case. The medical chronology is always fantastic to start with, especially for the more complex cases when there's tens of thousands of pages. The presentation was fantastic. There is definitely something, nurses have a strange way of picking things through medical records and finding stuff and presenting that on a medical way and an easy way to understand. And that's what we love to do over here at OnPoint. So I will put my information in the chat box, of course, and please reach out if you guys need any help.
Perfect. I highly encourage everybody watching, if you've not saved Patrick's information, to do it now because, again, love working with this company, but also John Romano raves about your pain and suffering reports. One of his absolute favorites. He tells everybody about it.
They're
And
fun. I don't want to say fun reports, but they're great reports. They're very different than some of the other expert reports that we produce and that we put together. I'm doing one for them right now. I think I have a meeting with them on Thursday to go over it. So they're it's just a different perspective. He also always says you should have a nurse on every one of your cases, and I fully agree with that. We just have a different way of explaining, asking questions if we need to do an interview with the family, and it's a different way. Doctor talk is different than nursing talk, so it's just a different way of how we present things.
absolutely. And I know that we're going to see you very soon in a few more weeks. If you've
Yeah.
not registered yet, or if you're thinking about coming to Texas with us, we are going to be having our second annual Depositions or Trial Seminar at Fort Worth Stockyards. And Patrick's going to be there along with many of our other friends, but just the most amazing speakers, you guys. I cannot say enough about the people that are coming to this program. It's going to be small, intimate. We're not taking more than like 60, 75 people at max. And when you come, I mean, you're going to have all the education, but also such amazing networking as well. So go to connectionology.com, just check out the agenda, and then also go to our social media and you can watch some of the speaker videos that they have created for you. The last one that was just done yesterday from Dino Colombo is one you do not want to miss out on. So go check that one out. But we'll see you soon. Thanks, Patrick.
There was a question came through for,
Oh, yes.
sorry.
Do you use AI to review your medical records? And yes, to his experience.
We do not. We've tested some products, and for the cases that come across, that we have used them before to identify duplicates. That is certainly a wonderful process that we all know, especially hospital medical records, that they like to repeat over and over and over again. So we have used a product or system that identifies those, so it speeds up the time. The one that with the couples that we've done before, we do cases that are elderly cases, pediatric cases. The systems that we tested, sometimes we would get some strange answers, specifically for our pediatric injury cases, because there would be drugs in the system. They would identify that a child is not supposed to be taking drugs, which we all know. So it would give us information that needed to be verified, or it just didn't make sense for the cases that we would put into the system. We like to also, the nursing side, and I'm only speaking from my experience. I've not used any other products, but the one thing is that the nursing analysis or the nursing process. That takes an actual nurse to be able to understand the process that goes into what we're taught, and the outcomes for it, and more importantly, the reasons why we might be doing something. And that is based off of years of experience, not only for what I do, but for the other experts. That's difficult to get across by putting it through a system. That's my experience. I'm only speaking from, I don't want to put anyone else down, but
Patrick, we should talk
the other thing is,
after this seminar.
my process is different than everyone else's. I know, and Ginger, you've seen my process before. I have to read it and write it and flag it to be able to have an educated conversation when I have to present it to the attorneys, especially in depositions. I've been in many depositions and trials. If I don't go through that process, then my reports would be terrible. That's my experience.
Well, hang in there with us because I'm sure we might have some more questions that pop up later on in this webinar.
I'll be right
And
here.
we're going to save even more questions that you guys have coming up in just a little bit. But I'm going to bring in I wouldn't say a brand new partner of ours because they've been with us for a long time, but I should say, guess who's back? Because we do have Samantha with us from Strategic Relationships. You guys, company is so cool. I get questions all the time. Even months later, people will be asking me the name of that company that finds the ex-employees, help basically kind of become whistleblowers. They find the information that you need but they are an incredible company. We're bringing in Samantha today, who you guys are going to get to know very well. She'll be back with us again tomorrow. But Samantha, it is wonderful to meet you, to have you with us. And please, if you can, share some more information about the great things you guys do over there.
Yes, and Stratejic is just another tool for you attorneys to have in your arsenal. We just went to, this conference season right now. We went to a conference, and one of the, it was a plaintiff defense insurance conference, and one of the sessions was literally called How to Make Your Discovery Undiscoverable. So you guys need every tool that you can leverage so you can get the best information, the accurate information, and fast information to be able to put up a good case against and prove liability, increase damages. And this is what Stratejic helps you do. We help you identify former employees so you can get insider information, especially on those cases that you can't just seem to crack. Former employees will know maybe perhaps like what the defendant knew, when did they know it, and what, if anything, they did about it. These are really, and this is when the defense sends you the thick boxes of information, former employees can help you figure out your discovery and know what to look for, especially before depositions. So this is using former employees is a tool that can help you not only crack your case, but give you structure, improving liability. And we've been doing from nursing, trucking, mass torts, class actions. Former employees can be very useful. And we're excited to see you guys in Texas. Please come to the booth, ask us questions. Happy to give you a lot of examples. We already work with John Romano and his firm, so we can give you tons of examples and other firms that we work with from all types of cases, from like I said, from nursing to premises. We do a lot of former tenants, and we're actually also doing former coworkers in asbestos and meso cases. So there's a lot of ways that you can use us.
I know, like I said, it's absolutely incredible what you guys do. Well, we're honored to have you guys back. We hope everybody watching will definitely save Samantha's information. She's going to put that in the chat box as well. But we're excited to see you back again tomorrow. And thank you again so much for everything you guys do. All right. Teddy and Henry, Mikayla, I cannot wait for this second part of the presentation.
Sure. Let me share screen again. Henry, your floor now.
Okay, so is there any additional tasks that you want AI to perform after you see Teddy's presentation? Any additional wish list you want to add? Please feel free to add. If not, I want to talk about risks of AI. It will be responsible to talk about both AI benefits and risks. In the past 25 plus years of my professional career, many lawyers I've worked with are professionally trained to be the best risk managers, and they are very vigilant to the risks brought by new technologies like AI. So I want to talk about it now. According to the American Bar Association and National Law Reviews, here are the top 4 risks of using generative AI. The first 2 risks are related. As you all have read on some legal news, the risk of AI hallucination came from the infamous case of ChatGPT making up fake cases and citations while the lawyer users trusted output from ChatGPT and neglected to validate the results. The third risk referred to the accidentally revealing client confidential information when using ChatGPT or similar AI online, forgetting that these consumer-oriented AI programs do collect your data to train their AI engine. Finally, there is a risk of infringing IP rights. You heard New York Times had sued OpenAI for using New York Times copyrighted materials to train their AI without paying for it. So what are the official guidelines to mitigate such risks? First, In February 2023, American Bar Association passed Resolution 604 and laid out two essential guidelines. First, users of AI products should be held accountable for the deliverables they give to their clients and submit to the court, etc. So my interpretation is that only human lawyers have the legal accountability for the results, and AI or any technology serves only as a tool for the humans. And second guideline, AI developers should ensure the transparency and traceability of their AI. And I'm very proud to say that our company has designed this principle into our AI platform from day one, and I will elaborate more on this later. Next, similarly, State Bar of California also issued guidelines that quote, generative AI must be used in a manner that conforms to a lawyer's professional responsibility obligations and as a part of their duties of competence and due diligence. A lawyer must critically review, validate, and correct both the input and output of generative AI to ensure the content accurately reflects and supports the interests and priorities of the client. Our AI developers' job is to make it easy, convenient, and fast for lawyers to review, validate, and polish the input and output of AI. So what's our solution? As an example to address the AI hallucination risk, we have designed our AI system to embed the ABA principle of AI transparency and traceability. Our AI's output result is totally grounded upon the documents you, as a user, provide. When you ask a question about legal case document you upload, our AI not only answers in seconds, but also provides a reference table on the right, summarizing the relevant evidence from the source document that supports its answer. If you click on the page number in that table, you can literally jump into that page in the source document, highlighting the relevant sentences in the left panel. So our AI not only finds a needle in a haystack, but also highlights that needle for you. This allows you to validate the AI output very easily and quickly. And we believe this precise citation feature is unique in the market right now, let alone the in-text, inline citation that Teddy just showed a few minutes ago. So this technology is grounded upon the, what is it called, RAG, or the Retrieval Augmented Generation technology, to force all AI answers upon the source document that you provide, and only the documents you provide. Okay, so as a solution example to address the lawyers' concerns about data security and privacy risks, and we have designed a 360-degree multi-dimensional protection of your data on our platform. First, all your data uploaded are encrypted end-to-end, 256 bits, bank transaction grade. Only you can see the input and outputs our AI generated, and our back office team cannot access them, cannot see them, and your data remains yours only. We don't use your data to train our AI engine without your explicit approval and agreement, and we absolutely will not share your data. We meet various compliance requirements leveraging the technology prowess of our major cloud service providers like AWS or Azure. We designed robust security into our products, infrastructure, organizational and internal procedures, and we have made available a 15-page document on our website laying out our detailed data privacy and security policies, and so that you can sleep better at night knowing your confidential client data and medical data are well protected. So after all the benefits and risk discussions, I want to talk more about AI adoption attitude among the legal professionals, because someone talked about if I can have AI fly a 747, would you do that? Well, this page demonstrates general public's opinion, attitude towards using generative AI in the legal field. According to Lexis survey of 3,700 lawyers in August 2023, well, a year ago, 43% of the lawyers had used or planned to use generative AI for legal work, as shown in the top left graph. And in the more recent survey, this data only went up. On the top right graph, 84% of the US lawyers believe generative AI will increase efficiency. At the bottom, 61% of lawyers believe Gen AI will change the way lawyers taught and studied in the law schools. According to a separate survey conducted by Wolters Kluwer in their 2023 Future Ready Lawyer Survey among 700 plus legal professionals across the US and Europe, a whopping 73% expect to integrate Gen AI into their legal work in the next 12 months. From these two surveys, a large portion of lawyers are warming up to the idea of using Gen AI for work. So what are some local legal leaders' attitudes? So in the New York State Bar Association annual meeting this past January, AI was the hottest topic. The President's Summit devoted the entire afternoon to discussing AI's usage in the legal field. Richard C. Lewis, the president of NYSBA, said in his speech, AI is now a must-have skill for all lawyers. If you are not onboarding in 18 months, you will be lagging behind. So since we brought up timing, I researched technology adoption timing in history. The left chart portrays a 20-year decline of typist jobs because the typewriters they used were replaced by computers, and the typing tasks themselves have been absorbed by the computer users as the typist became secretaries and they became more familiar with PCs. So the typist became secretaries as they become much more skillful using PCs, and they can do a lot more other tasks, helping their principals more. On the right side of history is an incredible acceleration of technology adoption speed. It took electricity 50 years to be adopted by 25% of the US population. PC took 15 years, internet 8 years, smartphone 5 years. How long will AI take? Well, 18 months seems a reasonable guess with ChatGPT and other AI's current adoption speed, especially among young people. Will the next 10 years be an AI decade, phasing out PCs and web decade? Will professionals like you start to use AI to absorb or automate many manual tasks you currently perform on the PCs? It seems a very reasonable projection too. So AI, we believe, will not replace lawyers, but those who use AI and use AI early will replace those who do not and who lag behind. Adoption of many things involve risks. Lawyers that I know are professionally trained to be the best risk managers. But what's the ultimate risk management question lawyers face today? I remember a key moment from a very wise CFO when he interacts with the management committee. When he was evaluating whether to invest in a promising new technology, he asked, what's the risk of not doing this? our risks of not doing seems far outweigh the risk of doing this. So similarly, I will ask every legal professional listening today, what is the risk of not adopting AI? In my view, the short-term risk is losing the opportunity to save time, costs, and manual efforts for your team. The midterm risk is losing case matters, staff, and revenue to competitors. And the strategic risk for a law firm is to disrupt others or be disrupted by other law firms. The really personal risk is that after we retire, we say, I've worked so hard for so long. If only I had leveraged AI earlier, could I have taken better care of myself, my family, and my practice? Something to think about. If you decide to adopt AI after hearing all these, we recommend you plan, do, act, check, and adjust implementation 5-step plan. In the, especially for the large firms, in the plan phase, when you identify initial use cases, think about what specific tasks you want to do more of with less time or same resources. Focus on what problems your team want to solve. Develop such problems and solutions into a use case. Ask your AI solution providers how they might potentially solve them, then start a trial pilot. When you evaluate your AI solution providers, ask what level of AI scientists and developers they have in the team, and get a realistic assessment on the risks and benefits you could expect. In the second do phase for initial piloting, you should work with your AI solution providers to develop an implementation plan, initiate a proof of concept testing. See if the AI test results meet your needs and expectations without AI hallucination, and this is very important. And the third act phase is when you would roll out to a broader audience and users in the firm. At this time, you focus on promoting change management and training of broader staff, encouraging more user adoption and timely feedback, and address any compliance requirements. The fourth check phase is when and where you need to monitor the usage of AI and track the real benefits, risks, and issues encountered during the rollout, and compare against the initial assessment. Good documentation of experiences and lessons learned are very important. And in the final adjust phase, you can adjust your AI implementation based on what you have learned from the pilot, incorporating experiences and lessons learned, and also think about what used to be impossible, then collaborate with your AI developer to turn it into a realm of possibilities over time. So let me recap and summarize the key takeaways from today's webcast. First, generative AI is a revolutionary AI technology that is being adopted widely and quickly. Second, early adopters of generative AI for legal work are seeing benefits of much higher speed and efficiency, more time, lower stress, better well-being of teams. And importantly, AI will help your law firms attract more clients and handle more cases. And that's why we have the slogan. Third, some AI risks do exist, and we presented our approaches as example solutions to mitigate the risks for hallucination and data security. And fourth, legal professionals are increasingly adopting Gen AI for their work. With the AI risks well managed, we recommend you adopting Gen AI early to gain a competitive advantage, and this will also improve the well-being of yourself and your team. AI is a big lever for professional success. We sincerely want you to succeed through the joint work with AI. So this will help you accelerate justice in your state and beyond as well. After hearing all these, if you are open to seeing and testing our AI platform for free, please scan the QR code on the left side of the screen to request an AI demo. I promise it will be worth your time. If you scan the QR code on the right of the screen, you can access TED Talk, AI for Law and Mandate, Not an Option. That echoes what Mikayla said in the beginning of our webinar. AI for Law and Mandate is not an option to get that competence. We will answer audience questions now. Thank you.